Okay. Welcome to the weekly webinar where QuickSight customers will learn about product functionalities, new feature launches, best practices, and tips on how to improve the user experience and gain technical knowledge from QuickSight SAs and PMs. In today's session, we will be learning about building paginated reports using QuickSight. My name is Salim Khan, and I'm a QuickSight Solutions Architect at AWS. I have my colleague Neeraj Kumar, who will be presenting with me today. Now, where do you go if you have questions about QuickSight, right? So the QuickSight community is the place to connect with other QuickSight users. And it's the first place you should look for answers to your questions. You can search for answers, ask new questions, connect with other users, and find new resources. We also post all the latest announcements, blogs, and learning resources here, including many examples created by me and my colleagues in our Demo Central section. So if you haven't done that already, now would be a great time to join the community and bookmark it for future reference. Once you're on the QuickSight community page, here's what the Q&A section looks like. You can search at the top, and if you don't find an immediate answer, post a new question. You do need an ID to post for the first time, and this will require an Amazon.com login. To make sure our experts on this live session get you an answer quickly, use the hashtag QLS-reporting, and we'll be prioritizing these questions all day today. And I'll walk you right through on how to do that by putting a sample question. And also, today's session will be recorded, and we'll have this posted on our YouTube channel and the community by the end of this week. So a quick walkthrough on what the community page looks like. So this is what a community page looks like. You see a section called Q&A right at the bottom. So we click on the Q&A section, and then you add a new question. Type a simple question: will this session be recorded? Okay, and then the tag. Select QLS-reporting. I can put my question out here and then post the question. Okay, so once you do that, you see that your question will start appearing, and we'll be providing answers throughout the day today. And if you have any questions, even in the future, please try and use the community as much as possible, right? It's a very good resource for learning perspective. Okay. For today's agenda, we will be doing a QuickSight overview and what our vision is for QuickSight. We will be doing a quick overview on the paginated report, and then we'll dive into the demo, which will be a major portion of a section today, showing you how to create first highly formatted paginated report, followed on by the best practices to convert an existing QuickSight dashboard to a paginated report, and then finally showing you how the different distribution looks like in paginated reports and the dashboards that we have now. So our vision for QuickSight right now, right? So how do I unify all the approaches? So what we have noticed with a lot of customers is that they are made up of users with different analytical needs and constraints. Executives consume insights and key highlights on the go. Functional leads need threshold-based alerts. Operational consumers need scheduled reports. Application users and customers want BI embedded in their everyday applications. And most readers would want the ability to ask questions without any wait time in natural language query when a dashboard or a report or application does not have those answers already built in, right? So the diversity of BI use cases and formats has resulted in a fragmented approach with multiple systems and versions of truth. So why use 4 different tools to receive the answers you need from your data when you can do it all in one with Amazon QuickSight? So that's basically our goal for QuickSight as a unified BI service at scale, within the same UI, right? With no additional training required. You can use the new feature launches all at once. Paginated reports, this is what our session is for today, are essential documents that contain critical business information for end users. Uh, and it has been for decades that paginated reports have been the standard business reporting format. The paginated reporting feature for QuickSight now allows customers to create and share highly formatted, personalized reports containing business critical data to hundreds of thousands of end users without any infrastructure setup or maintenance, or no upfront licensing or long-term commitments. Right? We have a unified authoring experience. What do we mean by that? With Paginated Reported, we have consolidated both the dashboard and the reporting use cases. Customers no longer have to have a disjointed experience for their authors and end users who are familiar with the QuickSight interface. So users don't have to decide between a dashboard or a report. It can be consumed all within the same UI. You can use the same data sets as a single source of truth. And finally, you only pay for what you use, no upfront licensing costs or long-term commitments. You can now create multi-page reports, which basically renders the entire content of the table or a pivot table in a PDF. You can also control the flow of the output by defining page breaks, create custom headers and footers by using predefined system parameters, such as page numbers or a report date. With Amazon QuickSight Pioneer reports, now it makes it easy for readers to consume reports in the familiar and scheduled fashion, both in PDF and CSV formats. Readers can access these reports via email or by using the QuickSight console. When we create a schedule, we can easily define when the report runs and specify how readers can access these reports, either by using download link or via the file attachment in the email. Okay. Now moving on to our first part of our demo. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a profit margin report from scratch using all these different features and properties of paginated reports. So these are all the key differentiating features that we have in paginated report that was not existing as part of the interactive dashboard that we have already, right? So the content will be rendered in its entirety. You can specify the paper size and the orientation, specify page breaks, see how multiple pages will get rendered. You have headers and footers that you can define, page margins on the report, okay? And then finally the system parameters on the bottom section. So let me quickly log into my console and show you what the experience looks like. So when you come on and create a new analysis now and pick a data set, after you signed up for the paginated report, you should start seeing this new dialog. So we already had the interactive sheet that we have been using for years now. You will see a new option for paginated report that gets now displayed after you've signed up for the paginated reports. Once you select the paginated report, you can create it by specifying an orientation. It will take you to a console, which is a little different in the way that you give more options now for paginated reports, like the header, the section, and the footer. Okay, the layout for the UI looks a little different. You can start seeing the different sections out here. The settings will also be a little different, where you can see the sheet layout. You can specify different sheet layouts, the different orientation mode, portrait landscape. You can specify the margins, and also the refresh options on how you want your experience to look like. For a demo today, like I mentioned, we'll be creating a profit margin report. So what I've done is actually created a template, which is again a best practice for large organizations in which you want to look at your reports to look consistent all across, right? So like the sales department, the finance department, the HR, the marketing, all have different templates sometimes that they use for the operational needs, right? So it's better and the best practice to create a template with a standard header and a footer that people can start using right from the go, and all your reports look consistent, right? So I've created the sales paginated report template. And you see that my header is already predefined. I created the header with the report name, which is a placeholder, and my report run date, which is already in there. I also have a footer which can display any company confidential information and my page number as a template. Now you see we have a new text visual that we've added as a release, which you can now start typing all your free-form text in this. And this gives you an option for these two system parameters that you can put in the header and footer. And you get different options for page number, page count, and for report date. You get different options that you can select by default out of the box. Right, so I've selected page number in my footer, and for my header, I've selected the report date. Okay. So this is my template. I want to use this as my starting point. So I'll go ahead and save this as my profit margin report. Okay, and start working on my report. So I'll modify the report name. Okay. Now, since my header is already created, I quickly want to add sections, right? Or display how my content would look like in a report. So my top section of my report should have a summary of some of my key profit margin metrics. Like I want to see profit margin compared to sales as by industry. Then I would like to see a trend of how my sales and profit margin compare over the year. Right. So in the first section, see it's added by default, one section when you create the template. The section has certain properties like padding, and you can say when this content within this section is rendered completely, you want to do a page break. You can select this option for a page break. Okay, let me go ahead and add a visual. Okay, and I want this to be a clustered bar combo chart, which is a line and bars. I need industry since I'm looking at sales and profit margin compared by industry. And I need my sales and my profit margin. Profit margin as line. I know that this is a percentage, so I quickly convert that into a percentage form. What my template gives me is I can actually have different color themes as part of my template that is already defined, right? Since I know my color theme and I've already defined that in my template, I can quickly go ahead and select I want sales to be a template and my profit margin. So the template gives you different options to work with quickly, and it gives a more consistent look and feel to your whole report. I want to change the way my titles look right now. Okay, so let's say sales versus profit margin by industry. Okay, make that as bold. And my color palette is already there, so I can quickly do that. And I want some formatting options. I don't want to show the sort because I know it's my industries. I don't want to show the data zoom or the access line. The label is fine. For my legend, I want it to appear at the bottom so that I've got more real estate to display my information. Right? You can play around with other style options or placement options. You can disable the background if you have. You can change the background color or the border. But I think I'm good with this now. I created this and formatted this first, okay, because I know my second visual also looks almost similar, only my dimensions are different, right? So I do the formatting, quickly duplicate this. Okay? And for this, I actually want a trend of sales and profit margin that I can look over a period of months. So I go ahead and add my order date to x-axis and change the granularity to month. Since I had already done all the formatting, right? Within 2 clicks, I was able to create another visual really quick. Okay. And just edit the title for this. Okay. Now I'm done with my top section. So I've gotten a summary. I see how my different industries are with when my prop finance is a leading industry. Similarly, I see the trend. Now I want to get more details. I want to see how my profit margin breaks down by product. Right? So for that, I can add a different section and say, okay, when this chart renders, display my section below it. Two ways of doing that, right? So I can go ahead and add a section. We'll add a section right below the top section, right? Or you can actually add a section right from the UI from here. If you click on this, you can add a page began section, right? So different user experience and different ways of doing the same thing. Now for this, I actually want to add a visual, which is a table, because I want the details and I want this content of this table to be completely rendered, not just a snapshot. So once I drag this visual, I can drag it across. Okay, but you see it snaps back to a particular size, that is the section size, right? If I open the properties of this, you'll see a couple of new options appearing on my table. These are report options. For a table, you can see expand table vertically across pages, repeat headers rows for each page, right? So you don't have to create headers for every, just keep on repeating it, and it'll just do it on multiple pages. As a placement, you see the width. So 960 is the max width the section can take right now, right? The height you can specify, and it'll snap or keep on snapping based on the visual, but 960 is the height. Okay. Quickly add my fields to my table visual. So I need my product, I need sales, I need quantity, I need my cost information, my unit cost. I want to see if there were some discounts applied. Okay, and then finally, how does my profit and profit margin look? Right. So once I've added all these columns, I can start formatting this. Right. I'll quickly know that my discount is an average. Change that to that, and my format is actually a percentage. And profit margin is also a percentage. Edit the title. Product details. I want to modify the headers. I want my header to be of a certain pixel height. I'll increase it to 30. I want it to have an inverse look, so I actually want it to be the same as my font color, but my headers labels to appear as a white, so it gives a look. And I can expand this now so that my table visual looks spanned across when I print the report out, right? So what you see over here is what you get in the output. Okay. And once you see, if I click outside, you'll start seeing this for table and pivot tables. You'll say print across pages. This basically will gives you a hint indication that this content of this particular visual will span across multiple pages. Okay. So now I've quickly created this paginated report with these multiple sections for headers, footers, with two different sections added on. From here, I can actually generate a PDF to see how my users will see this. Right, so I click generate PDF and keep working on it and generate this output once it's ready. For this webinar, I actually have this PDF already created and generated. So I'll quickly show you the output. Right, so once the output generates, it will look something like this, where you see you have the headers, my visuals line up properly, my footers are okay, and my table for this product details actually spans across multiple pages. Okay. I quickly wanted to show some more samples that we have, right, that we've created for our paginated reports that use different features, right? So this was the profit margin report that we created right now. One sample report is something like this, right? So you have a wine sample from a wine company called Verde. So you see the image spans across the whole first page. Then we have some information about this company. What water do we actually have? A map visual which shows you where the region comes from. You do have table of contents saying what are the different contents of this report. Okay. And then we actually have a mix of different visuals and detailed data. So you see the total overview, how the quality rating across all wines is. And then below that, we have the table details, which contains all the information on the quality and the different properties of these wines. And these render across multiple pages. You see, you get an option to still conditionally highlight everything. You see a thumbs up, thumbs icon, which you can use so that all these different conditional formatting options that you had that you used with the previous interactive dashboard, they're all available for a paginated report. And it renders across multiple pages. This report got generated for almost 172 pages. Another sample I wanted to share is a year-end summary report for a credit card. You see our first page has just brief information of what exactly has been prepared for. So you have headers, footers, and then you have summary for the overall year at a glance. And that's section 1. In a different section, section 2 has the top section, which is a pivot table, and then the bottom section is broken down. Right, so you see these are all highly formatted reports, all created using paginated reports. Another example I want to share is all these companies have different financial statements, like the income statement and the balance sheet, in which you have a multi-page report like this. The first section is actual versus budget. Then you have it compared to prior year. Okay, and then you have some accounting policies and supplemental disclosures that you have that need to be displayed. So all in a single report, right? So with this, I will pass on the ball to Neeraj, and Neeraj will be taking over the demo from here on. Thank you.
Thanks, Salim, for the intro. Hello all, I'm Neeraj Kumar, and let me share my screen. And Salim, you can confirm me if everything looks fine. So just get me to that.
Yes, Neeraj, your screen is coming through.
Okay. So as Salim has referred a use case where you can take a data set and build a paginated report. There would be a scenario or a use case where you have an existing dashboard, something I have on my screen now. And this dashboard is being built to track sales performance of a company. Now, we wanted to leverage this particular rich interactive dashboard. And let's say the business users wants to utilize and see all these insights that has been built here and have the email reports emailed to them. So if the business has this kind of a new ask around creating building a report, let's say a monthly sales report, and they want it to be emailed to them with all the snapshots that is required to understand or to look into the daily sales trend or the monthly sales trend, right? So on such use case or scenario, we can reuse the existing dashboard and we can create a new paginated report and schedule to deliver the content to the end users. So in the next few minutes, I'll be showing you the steps that is required to take a particular dashboard, which you have already built in QuickSight, and create a paginated report out of it. So let's first get into the analysis which has been for this particular dashboard. Let me go back to the analysis, which is accessible to me. And now when my analysis is available to me, as you see now, I have those summary order details tabs already built in, which I publish as a dashboard. Now, let's say my user has asked me to create a monthly sales report. Let's picking up few visuals here. They would like to have the sales breakdown. They would like to see the monthly sales trend down and all these insights that we are able to provide, right? and definitely order details in this case. Like for example, I have all the order details that goes in for end users to get that, right? All summary. So now let's say this particular sheet on this dashboard has all my insights. I can take this particular sheet and duplicate to a report. So that's built-in feature within QuickSight. So you can duplicate your dashboard sheet, your sheet to a report. So once you do that, all your visuals components get exported and within the Paginated reports, and it is all exported within a one section here. Now, best practices here that you have to do, you can, and this is where, as Salim was highlighting during his building block of create while he was creating the Paginated report, we need first the header section. We would need a sections where all our visual components lies, and then finally the footers, right, to be created. So we have these visuals to organize them in a sections. However, there are several visuals we will not require for our Paginated report. So now first let's remove any unwanted visuals from the report. So for example, I don't need, let's say I don't need that particular forecast. And let's say I don't need this particular area chart. And there's a sales breakdown I would need. I would need a monthly insight. So for now, time being, I can just resize that. And let's say sales segment, I don't need it. So I can remove that from my dashboard and move my sales breakdown and put it together, the content nicely. So in the next couple of minutes, you will see that we will be able to create quickly within few steps using all that. We will be able to create a Paginated report. Now, top performing agents for my, let's say, my Paginated reports I don't need. Again, this is a map which is more evidently beneficial for our interactive dashboards for Paginated reports. Let's say I don't need it. So I have all the required components that I needed for my Paginated reports. Now with that, I can create my header and different sections that I need. So first thing, I can take the title. So I can create a title if I need it using the text feature that we have available, or if it is already there, I can reuse that. So in this case, let's say I wanted to use this existing one, but I wanted to format and change that to monthly sales report. And let's say I wanted to change that to a small header, and maybe I would like to keep it in central, and then I save it. So once this is done, I can keep the section of the header as I want. And then I can also take the logo component and put it in the header section. I can fit all that into here. And once my logo and my sales dashboard report is done, I can also add the print date and all the other different components as part of my header as required. Now, let's get into the next section here. So I can build this particular sections for my Paginated report. The first thing is this monthly insights. The font is a little bigger. I can go into, again, custom narratives. The form, I can change the font to small paragraph to fit in. And let's say I can remove some of the unwanted space to fit into our page. And pretty sound looks clean, better now. So I can just use that. I have this image, again, exported from my dashboard. And these are basically giving the pointers to the three different insights that I'm using. If I wanted to leverage that, I can definitely reuse that, put it into that section. So with that, it is done. Now I can resize this one a little bit and fit into this particular section. So let's say this is one first sales breakdown by industry I have, and I have monthly insights providing me what my profit for December 22, what my last month was, and how increased by what fractions. Again, what my forecast looks like, and again, what is the compounded growth looks like. Now, next comes this monthly sales trend. I can keep it in the same sections, but let's say I wanted to keep it, create a different sections. So very easy to do it. We have seen how Salim was doing it, but here in this case now, if let's say I wanted to create a multiple sections, select the sections, and plus add, and then add sections. Let's say I want another sections to be created. I can again go back and add sections followed by that. And again, it is easy to drag and draw, move those sections up and down as we need it. For now, let's say I wanted to move the monthly sales trend into the section 2. I can drag, and then I can move it into a respective section. Same way, I have this particular pivot, which is giving me a last week sales by region and segments. I can move it into the section 3 that's after that. So now I have 3 sections built in. I can look into the height of each of these and the width of it. I can all change it within my placement sections. If I wanted to, it's better. The best practice is always to keep the height of the sections. And again, it pertains to what visual you're using it. You can resize your visual to keep that height. So if you wanted to increase or decrease, you can pretty much do that way and keep the same look and feel or the height of that. So that's something we can keep it in mind while building a report. And let's say I have this particular section built in, and let's say I wanted to add another section to it where I wanted to put in order detailed reports. I can create that. And one thing you can also change the title of your sheet. So monthly sales report. I wanted to keep that. And then now I can go into the order details. I can take this particular visual, which is a table, and then I can move it into monthly sales report. Since I already selected this particular sections, it directly gets moved to this particular sections. And when I'm here, I can basically resize that to fit into the entire page. Again, there are a few resizings we can do. And let's say I wanted to keep that order date aligned and order ID, and let's say customer name. I can resize the columns a little bit and the content names, and then have all my sales profit discounts to be together. Same way I can, if there's a need to do that, I can always fit in so that all fits into one page. And I can do that. I can just these particular column width to get all the values and all my columns created. So for example, I'm doing it here, and then same way for strategic EMB. So with that, all my the pivot table is accounted for, order details, all my columns are there, and you would see now print across the pages. It's another thing. Another thing again I can add is after this particular section, I can add a page break. And then once the page break is added, and after this particular section, once it ends, there will be a page break, and this will fall into the next page. Right? So we can do that way. Coming to the footer part, we can create a footer, just adding a text similar to what we were doing it in the new Paginated reports that we created. And here I can add the text. So let's say I wanted to put any company confidential, and I can resize that to fit in. And also if I wanted to change the formatting, I can go change the formatting, or even the font size also I can do it. Besides that, I can also add a page number to it. So let's say I want to add a text again, and I can justify it. So put it on the right side. And now here, when I click on that, QuickSight is giving me all the options to enter the text. Also, it has the options to add the image, the URL links, or if there's any parameters being created, I can utilize that. Or in this case, I wanted to use the page number. So I can click on the page number. It gives me options like whether I want a number count. I want both. And in this format, page number, page count. So let's say I do that. And I can keep that into the that particular section. Also, if there's a styling to be done, I can go back into my particular section in the header. And let's say here, I wanted to do a certain styling. So make the background to be certain color. And again, to match that logo style sheet, logo also style background can also be mapped to the same color as it, so that it resonates with the header. So that's the beauty of the freeform layout, and Paginated report comes with that inbuilt. Okay. So the header section is ready. This first section, which has providing me a sales breakdown, monthly insights, and all these visuals, nothing I've built it from the scratch. So if there's any calculations, any complex calculation if you used in the dashboard, all will flow through here. And you can reuse that same visual, same calculations, everything. And you can just put it together into the sections and how you wanted to create this particular layout. So in this example, we have 4 sections been built, header, footer, everything is ready. Now, since it is ready, the next step is to take this particular dashboard and then we can publish that. While publishing your analysis and creating a dashboard, since it has already been built in, I can create a new or I can replace an existing, which you might be familiar with. This is something which we have newly introduced, and like we can pick the sheets of our choice while publishing the dashboard. So I have summary and order details, and I can pick monthly sales report. I would like to also add that as part of my dashboard. So I see there was one question on can we blend the dashboard and paginated reports? Yes, you can. So while you are publishing it, you can pick your dashboard or your reports, you can put it together all in one dashboard. So with that, I can publish that. And once I publish that as a dashboard, it comes through, all my tabs are available. And let's say monthly sales report is there. If I wanted to change the order of it, I can definitely do that. While publishing, I can take care of that. Now here, once my report is created, the next step is to generate the PDF or add schedule. So we can add a schedule so that our end users would get all the insights that they have asked for. Like in the case of monthly sales report, they are looking for a sales breakdown, they're looking for a monthly sales trend, all the KPIs, all the insights, they will be all getting as an email. Now let's take an example of how do we do that. So now add schedule, you can click on that. Once you do that, you can create, you can provide the schedule name. So in this case, let's say I have monthly sales report. I can use that, and with that, I can create the schedule name and then go into the content. While going to the content, it gives me by default paginated report document is being turned on. It's my, I can pick what content my users want. If they want just a CSV for a certain pivot table and order table or the tables, I can point to that. I can provide that link to those exported visual data, or I can also send them a paginated reports. So by large, it would be essentially beneficial for the end users to have the paginated document. So we can keep it like that. If we can keep it enabled, and then we can go into a specifics of CSVs. Now, this is providing a data from the tables or the pivot tables. And when you click on that, QuickSight is giving you an options while you wanted to send a CSV data to end users or a snapshot of CSV data to end users. So in this case, you can pick the summary, and you would see from the summary sheet, it seems like we have a pivot table. On the order details on the dashboards, I have order details. But in this case, I just wanted to refer back to order details that has been added to a sales report. I wanted to select that, and I want the users to take a snap, to look into, to get the snapshot of the data of that particular visual. So that would be a CSV format, and which they will be able to export it. Now, I can provide that as, once I check it, I can select on done. So in that, now I've got it out, like my content delivery is PDF and a CSV. There was one question on our community regarding exporting as other formats. So definitely we are coming up with the Excel and the PowerPoint for this year. So Excel is our higher priority. So you will be seeing that a lot of traction around that, and we'll keep you can keep looking at the community, and we'll be sharing all the details there. So Excel is something to look forward to as the next in the content delivery. Then coming to send on, you can schedule the frequency of when the report has to be. You wanted to do it daily, weekly, monthly, you can do that. You can schedule the delivery of your reports. So let's say in this case, it's a monthly report I wanted to send. I can set up the runtime when it should start and what date it should start and what time zone. And once it is done, and I can set up the subject line for my report and what my email header should look like. And then again, you wanted to include the sheet in the email body, definitely you can. If you don't want, you want just an attachment to come, you can keep that attachment, or you can also provide get to a downloadable link, which will be in your email. You will get a recent snapshot link, and when you access that, it will take you to a dashboard, and you can download it from there. Or you can do a file, you can do the attachment as well. So let me take this as an example, and then I have CSV selected. So again, by default, CSV is going to be available as a download link to you. And all these files, they are generated, and they last for 1 year. So all these files will expire after 1 year. So with that, you can save that schedule, and or you can do the send test, and you will be able to get all the schedules as required. And once the reports are created, you will be able to see all the snapshots. Now, in the interest of time, because the report schedule delivery would run the process, and it will send an email, it would be taking some time. So in that case, I have already a built-in report, and which has been emailed to me this morning. So I will take that as a reference, and I would like to show you that. So this is the one snapshot that I got it in the morning. And this is a something daily sales report I have created. And in this case, I have a dashboard link emailed to me and a Paginated reports. On the similar trend, it's just a daily sales report in which I can provide on what date it is running, and a similar pattern it has been created. And this is for your reference, like since it is Paginated reports, order details can go through from into multiple pages. And as you navigate into it, so you will see that your headers and your footers are getting repeated as empty pages. And in the very first one, you have seen that your header is there, your section 1, section 2, and then section 3 comes as you have set it up. And then there's a page break, and then it's push the section 4 into the next page, and from there the daily sales order details for the daily sales report starts, and it continues until we have all the order details available. So this is an attachment which, as an end user, the users would get it as part of the report. So another thing is on the recent snapshots. So when you click on that, it will take you to a dashboard. So since this is a daily sales report I was talking about, when you click on that, it provides you all the snapshots. It gives you I have run it a few times. So now here, if you see all my instances being executed, you wanted to go back and refer back to the previous versions of your reports, what the data looked like on 23, 24, and as of today, what the snapshot is, right? So you get all the multiple snapshots available to you from that link, and also you have access to the PDF and the CSV data, which you can again download that. So once you click on that little icon, so you have daily sales reports, you have a PDF, and you have a CSV sections. You wanted to download that daily sales report as a CSV, you can download that too, and also your PDF as well. So that's something on the recent snapshots that you get it, and how the scheduled deliveries has been created. And with that, we covered all the aspects of the Paginated reports for today's sessions. And now let's take a look at the references. So as part of our documentations, so we have a QuickSight Paginated reports. So you can basically, when you click on that, when you get into our QuickSight page, the Paginated reports, there are a few references here, like you wanted to get through that on the pricing details or any other information that you would look for. You can follow through from our documentation. There is also a blog that we have created, which talks about similarly on that same page that what Salim and I have presented today. We have gone a little far into the depth, showing you more live into how you can create a report. But this is a wonderful blog to refer in case you wanted to create and share operational reports. So you can follow the steps here and the guidelines that is being set up, and like what are the different use cases, how the data has been to be created, how you can refer that data, and once you get that, how the pageant reports has to be created, how you can leverage the text, how you can create the headers and different sections all together, and finally, once you're done creating the reports, how to create the schedules and everything. So all that is being provided as part of this blog, which is again a key, and again, we'll share that information with you. And coming back to, there are other references which Salim has talked about on the community, and we have a demo central, like you can always refer to a demo central QuickSight link for any tips and guidelines you want, or you wanted to look forward to any demos that we have built in already. So this is one reference of a financial statement in case you wanted to refer that, and how you can create income statements or the balance sheet statements using the Paginated report, something similar to what we have done it as we talked about it. So you can create those as well as part of the using our Paginated reports functionality. Then again, stay tuned for our next session in the series. We have a new upcoming webinar on what's new with Q. So we have certain features being launched, like doing a contribution analysis on the fly using a QuickSight queue. So our natural language query capability, which is Q, which provides you your business users can come and ask questions around why my sales has been down versus how my profit forecast looks like. So all that would be answered as part of our new recent launches, and a little more. So you can just go in and register yourself on that. Now, in the interest of time, I'll go back into let's look into the questions that is being posted in the community, and let's address them.